meetings to go over some exciting stuff. And I just want to start with a little announcement. We have a new member of our team that's joining us today. It's his first day. His name is Brandon Knight, and he's going to be our policy analyst. We're very excited to have him here, and I'm sure y'all will be seeing a good bit of him in the next coming months and from now on. Alrighty, so for our first matter of business, the Broadband Summit, we have confirmed our dates. It's going to be September 11th through the 12th at the Renaissance Hotel in Orlando. We will be having a welcome reception the evening of the 10th. So if y'all are available to come to that, you can come the evening of the 10th, but the official summit will start the morning of the 11th. Just a reminder, we do have LTPT specific events planned for the summit, and we will pay for one member of your LTPT to come as long as they are not an elected official. We have a couple things to work out, but registration should be opening up in the near future. And then I'm sure as many of you know, our broadband grant registration portal has opened. It's been officially launched. Eligible applicants are able to register right now to receive the credentials to be able to apply for all of our grants. And I believe the timeline right now, once you've submitted and that application, it's about 5 days. We should be getting back to you, but does anyone have any questions right now regarding the portal?
Elizabeth, this is David from Polk County. Once you have completed your initial registration, I would like to go back. We've hired a grant specialist that will help us with these things. And I would like to add her, but it looks like if you go back into the registration portal, it just says that it's waiting to be opened.
Okay, gotcha. I believe Josh, I think he's on the call as well. If you could just email us the contact information, what their title is, we should be able to get them added for you. So you can send that to me, or you can send that to the broadband email as well. Alrighty, perfect. And does anyone have any other questions regarding the grant portal or pre-registration right now? Okay, and just as extra help, we have at the bottom of that launch page that you can email the broadband@commerce.fl.gov with any questions. We also have a FAQ sheet that's linked under there that should hopefully answer some basic questions, but feel free to reach out to me or that broadband email with any questions that you might have. And then our next order of business is the Broadband Hub. We should have our GIS team on the call. They're going to demo that for us. It's very exciting. I've been very impressed with everything they've done. So Josh, if you're available, I can turn it over to you.
Yes, thank you, Elizabeth. Yeah, it's something we've been talking about for a few months with these meetings. It's coming to fruition. So we're really excited about that. You'll have to excuse a little bit of our dust and a little bit of our clutter. We are currently in the process of launching it, so we will share a link at the end of this meeting. And as Jacob and Elizabeth talk to the rest of it, we'll get it up and live. But I will share my screen. 1 second. We'll walk through it.
Hey, Elizabeth, this is Philip Macris. I'm sorry for interjecting.
Yes.
May I ask a question on just the portal itself?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I signed into the portal and I tried to re-sign in and it wouldn't let me. And maybe you guys talked about this the first few minutes. I just jumped on late, but and I did send it. I couldn't get back in again. It doesn't even recognize my registration. So I got an email saying I got registered in the portal, but it doesn't allow me to log back in to confirm it.
Yeah, so you will receive a follow-up email on this. It was done a little prematurely. It was defined more as a phase 1, phase 2. We are working on getting a dedicated landing page so you guys have somewhere to look at that has our grants information on it. And we'll work with essentially the Salesforce platform team to have additional account registration sent out, as well as password resets, password configurations, things like that. Just so a little bit how you guys know how it works. You essentially register on behalf of an entity. You create an entity account, and then that entity account kind of has authorized users underneath it. So we are kind of working out the authorized users under it so that, David's example for Polk County, David can act on behalf of Polk County, and then anybody else that's added can also act on behalf of Polk County. So when you fill out these applications, it will auto-populate essentially Polk County as the applicant with the contact info of who's filling it out. So we will send a follow-up.
Okay, that's great. I thought I had to re-register, and I was like, probably
Yeah.
not. There's probably some glitch going on. So thank you. I don't want to be redoing it and cause more
Yeah.
confusion. So thank
My
you.
apologies.
Okay.
Yeah, it
No
was
worries.
a little bit of a technical blips here and there and kind of what we have. So we are kind of getting around and trying to sort it out. But sit tight. Unfortunately, all I can say, we'll have it worked out before workforce for sure.
I get it. Appreciate all your work. So thanks. So
All right.
great. Thank you, Elizabeth. I apologize for asking late. So interjecting.
No, you're just fine. Thank you for asking that question.
Yeah, and I'm sure a lot of people have that question too. So that is good. But all right, so we will share my screen a little bit for this one. So we have always kind of fought the issue of our site page being a little cluttered in the sense of it's one page with everything on it. So when people have questions about particular grants, particular programs, particular activities going on within those programs, it kind of leaves a little bit of, hey, where do we go on this page? So kind of the GIS team, one major aspect of the team was internal processes, such as our mapping location IDs with providers and working with you all was a big keystone of it. But equally as important was the transparency. So we wanted to provide you guys a dedicated site collection, kind of little site suite that you're able to go on here, you're able to view it, get information as the office is working on information, and also share it to other stakeholders that may not be as broadband aware in that sense. So we will launch a whole page on this, but essentially we'll kind of just get started with the navigation of it all. We do link out to the FCC National Broadband Map. As we get a little more bandwidth, we'll make an internal state of Florida one, but right now availability does link out to that. But it is really designed to say, hey, I want to view a grant program. They're all set up the same way. We'll choose capital projects as the example for this one, but you're able to go to capital projects with a dedicated page, share this out. They're all set up to show you our progress. This dynamically changes as we get information from providers. We will change this to be more of completion as we kind of roll out our monitoring with providers, which we're actually in the process of the next couple months. So you'll be able to see actually amounts of locations being completed. It always has an overview so that you can kind of know where the funding came from, what's the purpose of it. It has documentation, so you can go ahead and view anything you'd like to view on this. We do have a URL query down here as well. It is designed so that you can essentially query our entire library of broadband documentation by what you want to view. So we have CPF right here. You'll have all of the reports that relate to CPF. For the more savvy people, you can kind of go inside. You can actually play with it yourself and see our applications, our maps. You want to view BOP information as well as CPF. It will dynamically filter, or you can do the top. For the most part, we have made it so that you can just click URL queries and not have to actually do it yourself, which is kind of nice. And then after that, we do have the breakdown of the programs. That does say with applications going on as well as the awarded applicants. So you can go ahead and see our applicants. This is going to be what the PDF was. But if you scroll down just a little bit, we do embed our state awards tracker on there. We've been talking about this one for a while, so this is very exciting. You can interact with it on the web page. But for this example, I'll just go ahead and open it in a new tab. So it is approximate funding. We are just like under 1% off on this due to some navigation issues with location mapping, but you are able to see exactly what you essentially have funding. I know we did have some paper PDF maps on this, but this is actually the dynamic version, which is nice. It'll tell you how much has been awarded to the area you filter by. You can filter out by House districts, REOs, Senate districts, rural areas. You can filter by the county underneath it. And then if you also wish to see the actual program, you can sort that out to only see, BOP, and everything will change dynamically as that occurs. The nice part about it too is, furthermore, if you want to go inside, and this is iteration 1, we'll blow it out a little more as well, but if you wish to just go ahead and click on a point, it'll actually tell you what the address is, where it is, who has it, as well as the provider, and the amount of wards per location. This is just an estimate broken down by the total cost. And then furthermore, it'll also link out to fax. So if you wish to actually view the contract information in fax, this will allow you to do it. It is set up to URL query out to the exact BB, so you can go ahead and actually see what's going on with it. This is designed just to kind of give a good estimate of what's going on across the state, different areas. things like that. So that's one app we are excited to release. We do want to tie in Sarah data as the providers start to monitor. So you'll be able to actually see a percentage completion of the project and things like that inside of that pop-up as well. It does include all the infrastructure projects, BOP and BIP, as well as the CPF non-deployment stuff as MPCF, digital connectivity. So it is a cool one. So that's embedded on all the pages as well. And then we have the webinars. If you care to view the webinars, you need to have linked to slide decks. And it ends with an informational, just, hey, letting people know that all of our cycles have closed, and if they want to reach out to us, they can. But this will allow them to kind of see exactly what CPF was, what happened in CPF, the breakdown of it. It allows them to view videos, and then also furthermore see the awards where they are. BOP is laid out the same way. All the pages are consistent across the board. So you have your overviews, you have your documents, you have your breakdowns, you have your award trackers. Very consistent flow, so it doesn't confuse. BEAD is a little different because it is upcoming. We do have a banner on all of the BEAD pages. That way you can just go where you need to go. You can use these anchor links. They navigate to the same page. If I want to know what's going on, key dates in BEAD, I can click it. It'll take me to what's essentially happening in BEAD. We do plan to URL link these as well so you can do it. But if you need to know what's going on for BEAD, we will keep these updated. We will go ahead and add things as it occurs. Just so you know, things to register for webinars will also be added to this page. But same exact way as the other pages, it does have a breakdown of what the programs will be. It has documentation that's exactly for BEAD and an overview of it, as well as the program. And then for BEAD, because it is 2 programs, we are splitting it into deployment and workforce. As we award and this kind of scales down, these website pages will disappear and they'll all go back just to the general BEAD page. So it's all consistent on one page. But this will change. It's a little banner. We right now have public comments open for our project areas. Once again, like the state awards tracker, it is live on here. You can open in a full view, but it does allow you to interact with it. If you guys haven't seen, we do have project areas up. It's a little more tailored for ISPs. We will show another app later in this demonstration that kind of does have it, but you're able to export and view that. Question, Joe? If you would like to unmute yourself.
Sorry about that, Joshua. Thank you for letting me ask a question. I was looking at the dates, and it looks like the final list of tentative awardees goes to NTIA for final approval in early 26. Is that for both deployment and for workforce development? And does that suggest that no formal awards will be made till early 26? So
a little bit of a loaded question. Paul can always jump in if you like as well, but actual awards, on the deployment side, we can begin deployment for low to moderate income immediately upon award. So for deployment, you will see work begin on those low to moderate areas. That's going to be, I closed that other one, but that's going to be the green areas we highlighted. So that can essentially launch before. But yes, for the non-low to moderate income, we do have to wait until NTA. We do put our subgrantee selection in that final proposal and send it to them for verification approval. For workforce, do you know on that, Elizabeth? I would believe so, but I'm not entirely sure, to be honest.
Yeah, this is Paul.
Yeah, go ahead.
So,
Paul.
yeah, so the workforce development stuff can begin as soon as we have it approved by our project officer. So once we do the application cycles, determine awards, we'll send it to our project officer. We should get approval back pretty quickly, but that'll probably start sometime around August or so. Depends on how many applications we get, how long it takes us to get the awards out there, and then the NTIA program officer to review, but it will not have to wait for the final proposal.
Thank you very much for allowing me to ask. I appreciate the broad answer to the question.
More than welcome.
It's a loaded program, so yeah, there's a lot of different, and that's a good question too, because we can add that here as well. We can make a tab for maybe expected deployments as well, things like that, because I think that may be important to know. So we can look to incorporate that, because this is really intended for, the stakeholders that are external, right? For you guys, for the public, for even the ISPs. So, we appreciate the feedback. Philip, if you have a question.
Yeah, thanks for allowing me to ask. So 2 questions. So the first question deals with mapping. Do you have one map source or link that shows existing grants and BEAD project areas? Because as we look at these things, sometimes folks look at existing grants and it's maybe an edge out territory for an existing grant or maybe not. And whether, what kind of build is going to probably be the most competitive for those areas. Is there anything like that that's in there that kind of consolidates it all so we can look at it? If not, is there a way of downloading the data that you have to put it into a consolidated map?
Yeah, so essentially what we'll do is we'll hit this one first. That project area and public comment app is kind of our first iteration at it. These are draft project areas because we are running kind of a state initiated public comment.
Okay.
So this will allow you can download if you don't actually select a project area and just download without actually making a selection, it will download every single location that is eligible for the funding. So you can download that data set right here. It includes lat long and the location ID only. It's not the fabric lat long. It is an Esri lat long, so it is not the out to 9 digits. But yeah, you can actually click in here if you want to actually view the project area, say you're interested in this project area, you can then make a selection. It will then tailor this list to be the 413 locations that are corresponding to it, and as well as show the BSLs. And then you can submit a public comment if you like. So it is a little longer, I would say, to build it individually if you go through the app. However, if you would like, we do have an open data portal, which we'll touch on a little bit. High level, we just highlight content. We allow data sets and categories to be viewed, and then applications as well that we're releasing that are similar to this. For the ISPs and for people that just want to know project areas, we have our polygon layer right here for you, as well as we have our state authoritative data set on here as well. You can do view all broadband data. It will pull up our feature layers on GIS, and you can actually download the data that corresponds to it all. So you have your state award locations. We have one that's driven by location ID, one driven by address. We cannot put address and location ID in the same file due to confidentiality with CostQuest. So we can unfortunately not put a key between the two, but we can give them both individually. So one is location IDs, one is address, so that way it can accommodate both counties and also ISPs.
All right.
But yeah, you can actually download the data sets and make your own. We give you the project areas, we give you the eligible locations, we give you the actual fabric just to test stuff on. We give it to you all if you all want to a la carte it, or if you wish to use our maps that we have, that's a little more clean like this, you're welcome to use that as well.
Yeah, do you have a map like that that shows the grant areas on the outside? Can you do that too, to see where else has been received a grant outside of the green? Is that gray or no?
I don't know if we have a project area map that incorporates grants into it. Right now, the only data inside of it is BEAD eligibility.
Okay.
We do have.
That's informing. That's all I say. It's informing is because, if somebody had a grant and they're right next to a BG area, they may say, okay, I can just edge out. That's a different kind of bid.
So sorry, just to clarify on that map, the green are not awarded grants. The green are LMI areas and the gray are non-LMI areas. All of those are BEAD project areas that haven't been awarded yet.
Say that again.
So on the Josh, can you go back to the so for this public app, public commentary app, these are all BEAD project areas. None of these have been awarded yet. The symbology difference is the green are low to moderate income areas and the gray areas are not low to moderate income.
Okay, I get it. And that's the early one that you talked about, Josh, or Paul did. Okay, great.
Yeah, I will say that we cannot consider existing grants as we develop project areas. NTA is very specific on, hey, we can't give bias or anything like that. So we are, I would not say hesitant, but for project area design and drafts, I'd be a little curious on just putting grants on there. I don't think we want to show any favoritism or any consideration of, hey, we made a grant around you guys, because that's not the intention. We don't want to do that under this program. That said, though,
and I get it. It's just that somebody has a grant there and they think they want to edge out. That's a different than somebody doing a greenfield and just coming in and having all be entirely in West ISP. The difference in the construction budget is going to be dramatic. But that's helpful. I just was curious. The second question I have relates to the timing. We're hearing a lot about the NTIA and the revamping, and they added it 90 extra days. And it's unclear how they're going to change the program. Are you waiting for the guidelines to be released before you launch your application and and folks start submitting applications? Is that kind of your expectation, Paul?
So we're going to do the best we can to coordinate the two. I think, based on what I've heard about the changes that they want to make, we were technology neutral from the beginning.
Right.
So we're still kind of moving forward that way. Unless there's some big shakeup that will change things, we're going to move ahead with about a mid-June launch of our applications, mid to late June, which is about the same time we expect to hear back from their review of the BEAD program.
Right. Okay. Just a lot of things up in the air right now. We're kind of, things are recalibrating while we're still driving it, running the ship. So,
Yep, not something new to us.
everybody's pulling their hair
Yeah.
out on this one. So it is what it is. Just wanted to ask the question. That's 800-pound gorilla sitting in the room, and everyone's wondering what's next. So, okay. Thank you. Appreciate that, Paul. Thank you, Joshua.
No problem. And I will say the point of this app as well is so we can gather some more feedback on, additional service offerings in the state. Paul always says it's moving goalpost, and, Florida, we want to make sure that we're hitting that as accurate as we can. So the ISPs have been responding quite a bit on this. So if the counties want to go ahead and look at it, y'all are also welcome to kind of just say, hey, eligibility, which kind of brings us right to the next topic of on the data hub. Super quick, the data hub is just a data hub. It has an overview. It allows people to see curated content that we see. It allows you to see data sets. You can click any of this. This is our GIS data. This is going to be a future lasers, boundary fires, KML, KMZs. We have them, et cetera, et cetera. CSV is over here in applications. Makes it very simple, as well as some data sets for you to download, as well as applications. And you can view all of our applications. And then just some additional resource at the bottom. Super simple, super straightforward. But we did want to give the LTPT specifically some sort of way to be able to essentially see availability. Location IDs mean a lot to providers because that's how we kind of run the show between us. But sometimes that gets lost with you guys. So essentially, we wanted to be able to give an experience for someone that is a public member of the public that doesn't have a lot of investment in broadband that says, hey, I want to go ahead and search my address and see what's going on. So we always like to use Caldwell building, even though Caldwell is not a BSL, unfortunately, we'll pick right next door to us. And go ahead. We'll see if it wants to get down for me. There we go. This is the whole fabric. So this is 7.5 million locations in the state of Florida for anybody to be able to view it. You are able to click in on here. You have eligible, covered, and ineligible. It will be nice and clean on this. You can say exactly what it is. We try to do plain text language so you can know the classification and address if it's eligible for BEAD. That way people can blankly see, hey, I am eligible for funding, I'm not eligible for funding, or I'm actually covered under another award. So that's intended for the public a little more. For you guys, we went ahead and threw together an eligible by county that's more of a dashboard-based approach. So if you go ahead and you would like to see what's going on in your county, it does have the eligible locations. Once again, it is running off the fabric, so it is kind of hitting on the eligible locations. You can filter by the eligibility if it's unspecified eligible. So in Alacho, we can go ahead and see that there are 7.5 or 7.8 thousand, and then you can actually view in and see the breakdown of where the items are. You can mess with it on this. It'll pop up on the map. Once again, it is the whole fabric, so you'll have to be a little patient with it. And then right here, we do have unspecified. We'll reset it so you can see what's going on there, and then you can actually say, hey, what's under my grants already, what's eligible. But just be patient with these apps. There are a lot of data underneath it. It may take not 5 minutes, but they're about 30 seconds for it to load, just because of how much it is. It is set by MapExsense as well. But just a heads up on that. So this was made for y'all. Feel free to use it. Feel free to use the breakdowns if you need to present on it. Hey, what's our eligibility? Where is our eligibility at? We did want to kind of give a little bit of just something to y'all, a nod, to kind of help you better prepare for BEAD and kind of validate as well. Just because we can't put names to addresses, a lot of times you guys can. So feel free to play with it. The nice part is this is all going to be live in public by the end of this presentation. We'll go ahead and have it out there for y'all. But it is a nice thing to have. I think I'm over here. But yeah, I won't take up too much more of Elizabeth's time. Feel free to play with it. Feel free to explore it. We do list our SARA registration on there as well as specific things happening within the program. It will give eligibility information, application information. If people have questions, give them the specific website, send them to it. And I think that's going to help out a lot of people, hopefully make things a lot more streamlined and hopefully get a lot more information out there. Definitely play with our data page, ISPs and counties alike. This is what we're mostly excited for. The other stuff is great because it's informational, but this is like data informational. It's not often that we can give you guys a subset of the fabric, empowering you guys with over 7 million locations is something that's really powerful for you that, especially the smaller counties that don't have a large GIS team. It's nice to be able to play with these apps, see different items, and kind of really kind of just get your footing in what we're doing, be able to speak the same language. We do have a public app for project areas. We have our state award tracker that we demoed, the BEAD eligibility by address, which I just went over. And then we also have our reliable broadband and BEAD challenge transparency app. So play around, let us know, let Elizabeth know, let Jacob know. Let me know any updates that you think would be helpful, anything that's a little confusing. It's a living website. It's our first iteration. It's been something we've been working on for a long time. So it's one of those things that, yeah, just shoot it our way, but we greatly appreciate some coordination on this. So back to you, Miss Elizabeth. Appreciate the time.
Thank you, Josh. That's great. Like I said, we're really excited about it. Does anyone, I don't see any hands raised or any questions in the chat. Does anyone have any questions for Josh before we move on? Alrighty. Well, thank you, Josh, for that demo. Really appreciate it. Like he said, just to reiterate that, if you guys can play around with that and give us feedback once it is launched and just share it with anyone that you think it would be helpful to, that would be awesome. I believe Jacob's on here. I'm not sure if he's available. He's traveling right now. But as far as BEAD deployment goes, like Paul said, we are planning on launching those applications or later after the BEAD workforce. And for BEAD workforce right now, we have a couple webinars that should be coming up and we should be announcing them in the near future. So we will definitely keep you guys on the loop for that. And digital capacity, I didn't have it on our agenda that I sent out last week, but we did receive a notification from NTIA on Friday, along with all of the other 50 states and additional territories, that it has been ceased by the federal government, but we are continuing to monitor it. I'm not sure, Paul or Leo, if you had anything that you wanted to add on that.
Thanks, Elizabeth. So just to add, as mentioned, we're just continuing to monitor, hoping and expecting that there will be some kind of clarification that will be sent out to the states and territories in lieu of the recent announcement of pausing and ceasing those opportunities through the capacity grant. So again, we have our fingers crossed and hoping that we will be able to still move forward with providing an opportunity from that program and sending out those funds to all of our communities throughout the state. So just, keep in touch. As you guys know, you can reach out to us at any point in time through Elizabeth and the team. But anything else to add to that, Paul? Paul might have jumped off.
Nope, I'm still here. No, I don't have anything. You got that, Leo? I don't have anything.
Well, thank you, Leo. I appreciate
Mm-hmm.
that. Alrighty, well, that is our agenda before we move over to the LTPT only section of the call. Does anyone have any other questions for the teams, comments, things that they'd like to address before we move on? Yeah, Ethan, go ahead.
So this is Ethan with Alachua County. My dog walked up to me during that. So just double checking that the capacity grant is paused completely. So for the state level one.
It is. We received that notification Friday, and like Leo said, we're just going to continue to monitor it and hopefully maybe in the near future hear more about it.
Fantastic. And Josh, the apps for all the data for the GIS stuff looks great.
Thank you. We appreciate it. It's been a team effort, so definitely not myself only on this one. It's Bob, Alex, Alana, and Michael as well. They've done a lot of great work, so we appreciate that.
Alrighty, Derek, you had your hand raised.
Yeah, thank you, Elizabeth. One quick question, and it goes back to the broadband grant registration portal. I want to make sure I'm understanding the individuals that will be doing that registration. So if you have a district that really, the ISPs are the ones that's really filing on behalf of the county, are you requiring the entity, the municipality, the county to actually register, or would it be the ISP that will actually be pushing the application through?
So this is Paul. I'll be happy to answer that. So I don't expect any counties to be applying for deployment grants because there's a provider ID number required. And if you're not deploying for service in broadband right now, you don't have that provider. So
Correct.
it would be the
Okay.
provider that would be eligible. If you want to team up and partner with them, we encourage that in our application. So by all means, team up with them, but we won't accept any applications from the county for deployment projects.
That's what I was thinking, Paul. I just wanted to clarify it. Okay.
And I would like to add a tiny bit to that as well. We do have a tab on the registration that if you want to work with a contractor, let's not in the case of an actual ISP, but if you partner with a grant supplemental contractor, you can actually sign up with the county and then name that grant contractor as like a delegate or on authority of your behalf. So it does accommodate a little bit if you guys do contract out for grant assistance. The registration portal will accommodate that. Obviously, we're giving the monies to the county, so we want that to be the main county or the main entity registered, but we do have like a secondary like contractor designation on there as well. Just a heads up.
And then Kyle had a question. He said, we, the county, registered anticipating a non-deployment application. Yes, we should be having non-deployment application. So yeah, we were meaning for everyone to be able to go ahead and do that pre-registration who's going to be eligible for any of our grants, because like we said, we were trying to make that with the anticipation that it's going to be like a one-stop shop place for all of the grants that we will be having come out in the office. Perfect. Alrighty. Does anybody have any other questions before we move over to the LTPT side of the call? All right. Well, I will go ahead and ask any non-LTPT individuals to step off. Thank you so much for coming. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for all your hard work on the mapping. It looks great. Thanks for the updates. Have a great day. Bye.
You too. Alrighty, it looks like mostly everyone's dropped off. Does any of our LTPTs, do you have any questions, concerns, announcements that you would like to bring up? Yeah, Derek, go ahead. Oh, if you want to unmute, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. My concern is more along with the meetings or the seminars that you'll be providing when BEAD's coming up, because I have a challenge whether or not to kind of try to get to invite Jacob or some of you guys to an LPT meeting, or would that be better served everybody logging in to one of the sessions or online sessions that you're all going to be having soon? So I'm just trying to see and meter that to see when that's coming out and what that content will be.
Yeah, I don't think we have official dates for our webinars just yet. I'm not sure, Paul or Leo, if you have anything different on that, but I think that it would be beneficial, obviously, for your team to log on to those, but me and Jacob are more than happy to come to your LTPT meetings and we can talk about what was talked about in the webinars. That's not an issue at all, and we'd be happy to do it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Does anyone have anything else? Yeah, Ethan, go ahead.
So for Alachua County, I'm sure you've known for a while, or at least the broadband team has, we have our own grant. So that's finally awarded. So that's a large portion of the county that's unserved. So we'll be shooting all those IDs to you here the next week. So you know where that's going. But that's basically getting fiber in the ground this year, next year. So that's something we've been working on for a while after we had a lot of funds earmarked for broadband, and we went from possibly doing fiber ourselves to basically just making our own grant. So that's something that's coming down the pipeline really soon for us.
Awesome. That's great to hear that y'all are making progress on that. And yeah, thank you for sending over that information so that we can continue to keep ours updated.
Yeah, we'll send that over as soon as we can. But apparently there was one issue with the signature, so we're having to re-sign the contract, which is real
Oh,
fun.
gotcha. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. I learned a lot about contracts through this.
I'm sure. Yeah, once you go through those processes, you always end up learning a little bit more than you anticipated.
Yep.
But yeah, that's awesome. Thank you for announcing that. Let me see. Kyle, we are working on getting those topics planned for the summit. We've been working with the team that we contract out for the summit and starting those meetings and getting those topics together. So I'm sure as soon as we have kind of a comprehensive overview, we will be sending that out to y'all to know what's going to be going on. Of course. Alrighty, anything else from anybody? Alrighty, well, I don't see any hands raised or anything in the chat, so I will go ahead and stop the recording and thank you all for coming. We appreciate it.